Narcissistic Personality Disorder of Tendencies PT1.
It's been a while, right? Right. So, I remember I promised that I would do a video on narcissism and also what it is to have a narcissistic parent. So, it's been a while. Forgive me, I'm human. People go through things. But I'm back to drop some knowledge on yous, you know. But anyways, so I am going to probably do maybe 3 videos about this, because I did do research on explaining what a narcissist is, and also to the types of narcissism, which most likely will have to be in another video, and what it is to have a narcissistic parent. So I'm going to start with obviously what a narcissistic person is, a narcissist is, and also what you basically, not that you are, you can also have narcissistic tendencies. So it's narcissism is a personality disorder. So some people may not necessarily be a narcissist but carry the tendencies. So I did find information on that. So I intend to jump in. So I'm going to give you the definition of what narcissistic personality is. Basically, it's a person with a self-inflated ego. They have a deep need for attention, admiration. They basically are like extreme egotistical people. They don't really care for other people's feelings. They don't consider them, and they cannot by any means take criticism, and they are very self-entitled. So other kind of qualities are basically they're callous. There is like, what's the word I'm looking for, like they will isolate, and they have like ideas of grandeur. So like everything about them is like over the top, and they really truly believe they're like, I'm a gift, everyone should be so lucky to have me in their life, kind of thing. So for where I left off at, narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men. Not that it does not apply to women, it does. It's just more common in men. There's no real link to how and why someone might have this disorder, but it is believed that it could possibly be genetic, or it could be an environmental thing. I personally believe it's an environmental thing, based solely off the information that I got regarding narcissistic parents, which I said will be in another video, because there's a lot about that. But like I said, there are people who might not be necessarily narcissistic as far as the personality disorder is concerned. They can be narcissistic tendencies. So I'm going to kind of explain the difference there. So someone who has the tendencies, it's more like a trait as opposed to a whole personality disorder. So as we said, person who has the disorder is self-centered, very egocentric, someone who's selfish in some areas of life, but not, all 100%, like all the time, kind of thing. Then those who have narcissistic tendencies will have empathy for others and treat people with kindness. They kind of pick and choose who they want to, I guess, as I said, they kind of pick and choose who they want to, I guess, treat accordingly, or like I said, with kindness, and there's no malicious intent behind it. But being kind of self-absorbed in some areas of life doesn't necessarily make you a narc, but if it's done maliciously or with the intent to hurt people, that's obviously considered narcissistic. But because there's nothing wrong with having high confidence, you know what I mean, being confident in who you are, but like I said, if it ends up being hurtful to others, then it's a problem. There is, as I said, different types of narcissism. There is you can only be. So, as I said, there's one type of diagnosis of someone with the personality disorder, but there are 5 types. And as I said, that will be another video about the types, so that could be a little bit more, give a little bit more explanation. But basically, the 5 is overt, covert, antagonist, communal, and malignant. Obviously, some of them sound worse than others because they are. But anyways, there are ways, as I said, there's nothing wrong with having confidence in yourself. So some people might perceive that as you're full of yourself or very, egotistical. But there's some form of narcissism that is helpful. So I know people think like, oh, narcissists are bad. Yes, if they do it with the intent to hurt you. As I said, there is a healthy kind of way of having confidence. That's why I don't really like that idea of kind of saying like, oh yeah, there's a healthy dose of narcissism, since narcissism seems to be very much bad. So I like to, as I said, I guess they explain it as there's adaptive and maladaptive forms. So adaptive is a aspect of narcissism that can actually be helpful in life. So it's like I said, nothing wrong with being confident, having resilience, and ability to be proud of yourself. And like I said, I don't really see that as narcissism. I wouldn't necessarily label that under narcissism, but it's just me. Then there's the maladaptive, which is connected to the trait that doesn't serve you or kind of anyone else really. Is negative, obviously, maladaptive. So that is also basically the epitome of narcissism, where it's the feeling of entitlement, a tendency to be aggressive or take advantage of others, then is basically just overall unhealthy and very hurtful. So both of these, as I said, adaptive and maladaptive, these types can be passed down genetically or influenced, basically environment. As I said, I personally believe in environmental reason. So to finish it off, as I said, I do believe that narcissism is definitely a environmental thing based solely off the fact, like I said, as I did the research on what a narcissistic parent is, it seems more like it's an environmental thing as opposed to a genetic thing, because I just think it's something that's kind of passed on, a learned behavior, as opposed to something that is just in you. So I will be doing another 2 videos, one about the narcissistic parent and one about the types, as I explained in this video, the types of narcissism. So catch me there.